Hey guys, good afternoon R&B lovers, good afternoon R&B heads. My name is Chastity Buckley. I'm the host of Midnight R&B Edition, 𝐷 Midnight Love BET, where I give all my flowers to all my R&B artists, singers, songwriters, producers, engineers, you name it, anybody that has made a staple in R&B. And guys, I'm here back on my episode with Who's Next. Y'all know I love this show. You know, I love this part of my segment. It's like where we give independent artists a time to shine, but not even that, to show their music to the world on my platform, but not even that, make a name for themselves in the up and coming R&B world. And I'm here with a two-time award. Yes, I have to say two-time award because you won 2 awards, sir. Yes. Congratulations on that. You are an R&B singer. No problem.
Yes.
R&B singer and songwriter. You know, I like people that can write with the pen, sir. So, you know, I got to give you that notation because when you're a penner, that means you can really, really come with, you know, music that comes from the heart and soul, from either an experience or some, you know, some nature of where you feel that you want to write from. And I'm here, guys, with R&B. Yes, with R&B singer and songwriter, the one, the only Mr. Cle'ph. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm excited to talk to you about a lot of stuff today. You know, your EP, congratulations, came out. Yours truly. It came out recently.
Thank you.
I know you made music during the years since I got to learn about your catalog and who you are as a person, but I want to get the audience to know who you are, and you know, just get to know about, you know, what do you do in the R&B world, but not in that, why are you making music the way you are, but not in that making that feel good R&B music that we love. So before we do get started, I always do kind of like a mental check-in on my guests because, you know, like I said, since we've been in the 2020s decade, it's been this crazy pandemic that we've been in. And it's kind of changed a lot of our lives, but I always want to make sure with my guests, how have you been and how have you been since the pandemic has happened?
I've been good. It's been a crazy 2 years. That was very different. But I have to say, honestly, you know, despite everything that was going on with the pandemic, it actually in a way I kind of tapped into my creative side a little bit more since that happened. Like writing wise, I've been really on the roll with that, just because everything was locked down. So in a way, it kind of helped me because everything was shut down. So it wasn't like a race to try to catch up. Like, oh, I got to hurry up and drop this, drop that. Everything was shut down. So I had time to just, you know, just really soak in my artistry and everything. So that was my take on it. You know, again, very bad situation that we just endured for the past 2 years, you know, but creatively, kind of stepped my game up a little bit.
Oh, well, that's great because I know, like I said, for the pandemic, it's kind of changed a lot of people's lives. I think the thing about it is, like, I think it's finding people's purpose, you know? And with that being said, you know, being in this pandemic, it's kind of showed a lot of people what the true nature of what they feel or what I think life is going to be afterwards. But I think it showed the honesty of what you want to do with yourself in your life. And I think that's great that you like took the time to do creative stuff like writing and just really find within yourself who you are as a person, but not even that, like, what do you want to bring to the table creatively when it comes to R&B music or just music in general, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I loved writing. It definitely, like I said, just listening to different beats, concept in my head, it just felt like everything just stopped. And I just had that time to myself to really just enjoy just making music at that time. So, you know, too bad all that had to happen, but you know, it is what it is.
Hey, it is what it is, but we still here to this day, okay?
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much. So I want to get to started to get the guests to know you, who you are as a person, you know, where you're from, and how did you get into this R&B game that we call in the music industry? So I know you are from Brooklyn, New York. I got a lot of Brooklyn people that comes on this platform a lot. Y'all are deep with music. I don't know what it is about New York. I mean, you know, the hip hop, the heart and soul of it, but I like a lot of New York people that know about music, like in general. But I know you are from the BK, Brooklyn.
Fort Greene.
Fort Greene, yes, as well.
Fort Greene,
I wanted to ask you, how was it like growing up there? Or kind of like, who were your inspirations of R&B music? Because to me, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I wanted to say this during when we're going to talk, your voice, you truly, truly remind me of Raheem DeVaughn. I don't know if people told you that, but you have a voice like him. You do. And some of the music.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
I would say what got me into music, I've always loved music. And since I was young, I used to always listen to the radio when radio was a big thing. And I used to listen to it and like, I used to try to mimic the different songs that I would hear because I would always like the melodies of it. But I would never know half the time what the artist even looked like. It was just, oh, I love this song. And then when years later, as I got older, I look at like, oh, that person sings the song? Like, oh, okay. I didn't even know that. Because half the time I'll know a song, but I won't even know the artist's name. If you were to say, oh, such and such sung that, I'm like, oh, that person does? I didn't even know that. I just heard the song and just loved the song.
Right.
So that's basically how it was for me. And there's like, I didn't really want to even know I could do music, to be honest with you. Because I actually wanted to be an actor instead of doing music, to be honest with you.
Right.
When I was younger, I wanted to be an actor. And I always kept that music thing like tucked away. So when somebody used to ask me and be like, hey, so like, what do you do? I would always try to be nonchalant about the music thing. Like, nah, I don't do anything. But really, it was really like a hidden talent because I used to want to act, but I never took it like acting all the way. It was just something I would just say, like, yeah, I want to do it because I used to like movies. So I used to say, hey, I want to act, but never pursued acting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically what it was. So I kind of got pulled into music, you know, being in junior high school and then playing the saxophone and then going to high school. Yeah. Playing the saxophone. I played the flute a little bit, played around with the drums, and then got to high school. I didn't have music class no more. So after that, they didn't give me music class. So I ended up basically singing was actually the thing that I used to do. And I never told nobody I could sing. But I knew when I was in junior high school, I wanted to start my own jazz band. But I didn't know how to play the saxophone, you know, sing and write songs at the same time. I didn't know how to do that all at the same time. So it was kind of like broken up. Saxophone was out the way. Now I just started singing. And then I went to the studio with my friend at the time, and I recorded the first song. It was like a skit, just being funny. It's called Money and Ice. It was something silly, like a melody for one of those like Bugs Bunny cartoons or something like that. Don't ask me how it sounds, or whatever. Yeah. So since then, everybody's like, "Oh, you sound nice. You should do that. You should be on this record." So the guy at the time would write a hook for me for his project. So I was going to the studio and just write. I was so nervous because I never really recorded myself. So I didn't know how I would sound. So when I would listen to it, I was like, it sounds pretty good. And then it just started like a domino effect after that. He started writing some hooks for me. I started writing my own projects. And then from there, just never looked back. Been writing ever since.
Come on. Do you feel that? And you know what's crazy? I feel like you took a chance on yourself, because I know what a lot of people, when they have that hidden talent, like you said, like I could tell you for myself, you know, for me, I love music. Nobody knew I like music, but I love to listen to music. I like to study, you know, the artist and the artistry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think for you, what I'm starting to learn about yourself with the hidden talent, I think the thing about is the world needed to know what it was. And I feel like, I think the writing kind of pushed you into doing what you want. And I think with your friend, I think that's amazing, because I think a lot of people don't talk about the writing process first. It's kind of like a big deal, especially in music when you are, you know, becoming a singer, because a lot of people do have people write for them. But I think the biggest thing that for you is you wrote for yourself. So I think by you having the upper hand for writing for yourself and then becoming a singer, it kind of makes sense to you what kind of connects with you, and then get to connect to your audience, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes perfect sense, because I have no money to pay nobody. So I had no choice but to write for myself. Just gotta be real. I didn't have no money to pay for anybody to write for me. And I don't know, it just felt weird when I first started writing, and I was the only one writing for myself. It kind of made sense, because it's like, you know, who else could I relate to? If it comes from me, it's easier than compared to somebody else who don't know the situation.
Come on, okay.
But I'm always open to working with other writers though, all the time. As long as I can be a part of the writing process, I'm okay with it. Even if I only wrote 15-20% of the record, I'm okay with that. But just I'm really not okay with somebody just giving me the record and just like, all right, sing this.
Exactly.
I gotta have some type of input in it. Even if it's just a part of a bridge, give me something.
Come wait a minute. Don't tell me you know about bridges. Come on, we need these bridges, okay?
Yeah,
you know,
well,
you know, in this day and age, they feel like bridges are not needed in music anymore. You know what I'm saying, Cle'ph? And you know,
that is true. That is true. The bridge and songs is kind of like a lost art a little bit.
Thank you.
Like,
It's a lost art.
But that's how I learned how to write songs, though, because that was the format that I picked up on when I was listening to all those songs back in the day. They had a bridge. You had your verse, hook, second verse, you had the hook, and then you had the bridge. That was you know, and you could always usually tell in the old songs when the bridge would come up because you'll hear the change in the melody or the beat would change. So they had to change the. That's how I was taught to do it, you know. So, you know, as years went on, of course, you know, then some of the new songs come out. You know, you don't have bridges no more, which is okay. You know, I do it myself sometimes. Sometimes a bridge is not needed, but sometimes I do want a bridge for it to make sense. Like it's like
That's what I say.
Energy. My song had to have a bridge in it. That only made sense. So
that would make perfect sense. I mean, the way it's going in the song. But I know for me, I feel like I'm happy you're kind of hitting on the points too about writing in your percentages, because a lot of people don't talk about the business side, and that's what I want to ask you about the industry. Like, did you learn? I think now you're going into your songwriting and you know being a pursuing of your career and stuff like that. Did you learn the business first before you got into the industry, or was it like during the process of you becoming this independent writer, that singer and songwriter that you are?
it was kind of like a mixture of both. Because you know, I was writing, but then I had certain people tell me certain aspects of it, and then on top of that, I like the fact that as the years went on, as I was doing music, I was able to watch documentaries or hear from all other veteran artists who've been in the game for years, and they would tell horror stories about X, Y, Z, and this, and they got caught up in bad deals and how this wasn't right. You know, and nowadays we just got Google, so you can just Google all that. So now it's like easy information. So for the most part, I am kind of keen on as far as the business side of it, as far as the music and the writing goes and everything like that. The percentage has to make sense. I don't have a problem with the, you know, sharing a percentage with somebody who actually did something in the song. Because, you know, even if it's little, if I got 15%, all right, cool. If I added that little element to the song to help it, I'll take my 15%. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that.
Right.
But a lot of people, you know, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You said a lot of people do what?
No, I feel a lot of people will have a problem with it because, you know, they feel like, oh, I need a bigger percentage. But sometimes it's also based on how much did you really put into the song. So if I added like 2 lines, or if I say, hey, maybe you should, if I switch this word up and you want to just give me 15%, okay, I'm still going to use that as, hey, I wrote this song because I did. And that's where sometimes that's where the trickiness comes in. That's when a lot of problems come in, because if you got several people in the studio who never wrote a song in their life, and you're in the studio and y'all all sharing ideas, I think in a way, I think it might be some type of like some rule where it's like, if you ask somebody something in the studio and they give you like an opinion about a song, or they tell you, hey, change that word. Even if they never wrote a song in their life, I think you should change the word instead of it. You should change it to was. That's it. They're a songwriter. That's usually how people like the loophole. Like, oh yeah, well I did write the song. I changed one word, but it don't matter. I still help with the process. And that's when sometimes it gets kind of like people get caught into that little, it gets a little complicated. Like, oh, you didn't write the song. Yeah, but I told you to change this word. So because you changed the word, you was able to flow easier on the record. So I'm gonna need a percentage of that. He was in the studio. If he did that, that's what happened. So you gotta kind of be careful who you have in the studio or when you're doing the writing process.
That's right.
That's just my take on it.
Yes,
that's my take on it.
I agree. And you know what, Cle'ph, that's crazy you said that. I was just watching recently about Beyonce. About, you know, a lot of people with the songwriting, because, you know, she recently came out with her album Renaissance. And I don't want to get too deep in that too with her, but I know Neo, they were talking about with Neo with Irreplaceable, you know, that was a huge record for her. And, you know, at the time when that album, you know, when that song came out, you know, Beyonce was kind of giving credit that she didn't. And, you know, Neo had to come in and say, no, you didn't do it. But he broke it down to exactly what you just said about, as in, like, she might have changed the melody or harmonized or changed 1 or 2 words, and that's how she got credit. And it's nothing against, you know, Beyonce was songwriting, because, you know, I've heard from former her group members that she does right. You know what I'm saying? But I think, like you said, if it's a team involved, then people are going to get their piece of the pie. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the deep business part comes into play, when people do change words in songs, and then the song becomes a hit, then people are going to be want to, you know, battle.
Yeah, people always want to, they always want to attach themselves to that hit record. Like, I was a part of that, you know? So, like, stuff like that. I've heard about that. But he had to tell her, like, nah, you didn't. Because that was originally his song. Yeah. That was his song that he wrote for himself. But I'm glad he did do that, because that wouldn't have sounded right coming from a guy. I'm not going to lie. It wouldn't have sounded right. It would just sound kind of weird. to the left, that wouldn't, yeah, it wouldn't sound right.
Yeah. But I think the thing about it too,
okay.
what you just said exactly in the same words, what Neo was saying is the reason why I gave her songwriting credit because she changed some certain things with the vocal and the melodies and stuff like that. Like
I'm
people
pretty
don't
sure
talk
she
about
did.
that. Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty sure she did. She put her style on it. Yeah. So yeah, that falls into it. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I like how you broke it down because people don't understand, I think, the method of songwriting, or I think the business side, and then it gets mixed up into the method of how people make a song. But like you said, if you're by yourself and you're doing everything by yourself, you should get the 100%. Then if you add somebody into the mix, then see how that breakdown of the percentage.
They can get like cause when I usually do features, if I wrote a song and I presented the song to a feature artist, 9 times out of 10, I'd be like, all right, I'll give you like, sometimes it also depends on how cool you are with that person you want on the record. Like if we and that person are real cool, yeah, I'll go 50-50 with you. I don't care about that. Or if it's somebody that you respect as an artist and, you know, and you're like, maybe I just want to put this person on it, be like, yo, just give them like 25%. As far as the publishing goes, like give them 25%, I take 75, which to me is completely fair. I've done situations where even on my EP, yours truly, there's a song I have called "Feeling You," and it's featuring 𝐷𝐷𝐿𝐲 and 𝘱𝐲𝐪𝐿. 𝘱𝐲𝐪 produced, the person who's singing the hook. He produced that record. So when it came down to the split, I gave him a bigger percentage, of course, and took like kind of like the less percentage of the song because that was his concept. He made the beat. He came up with the hook that basically spawned the whole concept of the song. So all I did was just come in and just write my verse, which was easy because he already laid down the concept. Yeah. And basically, like I said, he took a majority of the percentage. I had no problem, you know, giving that percentage to him because he deserved it. Why not? I mean, he's the producer and the songwriter. He's the lead songwriter on the record. I was just like kind of like in a way a feature. So out of respect,
I was gonna say add on.
Yeah, I was gonna say add on. yeah. Out of respect, you know, I'll take the mere, you know, 25, 27%, but he can have the rest of the pie. That's fine, you know. But that's how I operate.
But there you go, MC Cle'ph. That's what I'm saying. Like you really, really are making people understand about songwriting. You know what I'm saying, about the business why? Because even though you knew the parts and positions that you play, I think the thing about it is because you have communication and y'all were fair with everybody and everybody understood where they come from. I think that's a good thing. You know, I think we need that in this industry because we know how this industry can be so, you know, very dirty in the way of how it comes with the business side. You know what I'm saying? And I think for you, you're going into the mindset of, hey, as a songwriter, yes, I'm a songwriter, but at the same time, is my business is going to be added into this because I'm not going to let you take what I got. But then I know what I own, I know I can have. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I respect about you for that. Because a lot of people don't talk about that. I think you're probably one of the first guests on my show to really do a real breakdown of this. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't, you know?
Yeah, so no, that's true. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, like I said, I'm fair. Like if you worked on the record, you deserve what you worked on the record. That's even if it don't matter, even if it's 15, 10%, you got that. So even if I get 10% of something on the record, I'm still gonna say, hey, I participated and co-wrote that song. So I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna be upset, especially if it's not my record and you ask me for help. I'm okay with that. So I'll take my 15%. Like, oh, can I get 15%? Like, yeah, you can have that. All right, cool. I'm good. You ain't gonna never hear no peep from me. I'm not gonna get upset. Like, oh, I deserve more. I'm okay with that. Like, next. I write my own song by myself.
Okay, preach. Yes, thank you so much for that. So, Cle'ph, I wanted to know because I know you said you went to school and stuff like that. You went to Long Island University. So, at this time when you went to college, was it?
I went to. You said I went to where?
Was it Long Island University?
Oh no, I won a competition at Long Island University.
Oh, you won a competition. Okay, you won a competition.
I won a competition, at Long Island University. So yeah, it was downtown Brooklyn, in Fort Greene, right across the street from Junior's Cheesecake.
Oh Lord.
I remember that.
So
good times.
But I think that's dope though, because you said you went to the university to do your talent, but did you get your stage name?
Yeah.
You started to get your stage name from there. Like, what inspired you to name yourself Cle'ph? We know that's not your real name, but I think it's kind of dope because it's very unique. But when I asked you earlier, I thought when I heard Cle'ph, I'm thinking of like music notes. So I'm like, how did you get that name, and what kind of inspired you to get that name like that?
So I went through a lot of names when I was making music.
Okay.
And like I said, I grew up in the whole, Drew Hill. Everybody didn't usually really. I like the one word as a name. Like Neo, Mario. Like it's simple. And I was like, I need to come up with something. I went through some various names. This is very silly. So then I decided to come up with the story of how I came up with Cle'ph is actually interesting because I was in the backseat of my friend's car and he was, I know it sounds funny. Like, so he was visiting his mom's who worked at the hospital. And at the time his wife was driving. So I'm in the backseat and I'm saying, yo, I really need to come up with a name for my music.
Right.
Like she's like, what? You mean like a name to call yourself? I said, yeah. I had already thought of the name of Cle'ph, but I didn't want it to come off like 𝐷𝐿.
Oh, I'm about
you know
to
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
when I searched him on YouTube, _Cle'ph popped up.
that's the thing. So I was like, yo, I always like the name Cle'ph, but I'm like, yo, I think he beat me to the punch already, and he had already, of course, made a name for himself already. Yeah. So here I come, somebody brand new. Most people will be like, I don't know, son. So I always like the name. So I was like, I want to actually call myself Cle'ph. I said, but I don't want to be like 𝐷𝐿 because he spells it with an F at the end. Right. So then my friend at the time, wife goes, well, why don't you put a PH at the end of it? And I didn't, and me being silly, I didn't know you spelled Cle'ph like that. So I'm like, wait, what? I said, hold on. I said PH? I said PH. So I started writing it down and I was like, that kind of looks kind of proper. That looks nice. Now, I kept that name, but what made it really stand out was recently, a few years ago, I got the name trademark. Recently, like a few years ago, I got the name trademark. So I had to basically go to CLEPH. So I was like, I need something because I was always afraid of losing the name because I always had put the name on records.
Come on.
I always had women say my name. And it's always kind of weird when you create something and somebody else takes it and it's like, that. Yeah. So I decided, I was like, I need something that will make the name stand out. So I started looking at the name and I was like, what can I add to it to make it? I was going to put a dash on top of it or a comma at first. So then when I spelled it CLE''PH, I was like, that looks fancy. Mm-hmm. Almost, I'm thinking like how when you spell Beyonce, she has that apostrophe in her name.
I just thought about that.
I never went to school with somebody named Beyonce. So that name was already like, wow, that's really like how many people can say they they know somebody in school named Beyonce? Not too many at all. That's a very unique name. Yeah, that's a very unique name. So it's like, okay, so I spell it CLE''PH. So I trademarked the CLE''PH and it came back. I was cleared. That apostrophe made the biggest difference because there were so many other Cle'phs that had my name spelling. But if they don't have the apostrophe, it's not legit.
Exactly.
So you gotta literally put the apostrophe in my name for it to actually be me. And I've been using it ever since. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, that is so dope.
Beautiful thing.
And that's so right. And that's what I'm saying, Cle'ph. You really, really are taking this seriously in your craft, but I love that you really, really are a businessman. I'm starting to learn this about you. And one thing that I learned from a lot of my artists who I've interviewed is that a lot of them, they didn't really know the business when they got into it. A lot of people were very hungry, excited, and they really wanted to make a name for themselves. But I think what a lot of people get caught up in is you really, really have to do your business when you're in this industry, And the thing is that, you do. And I feel like for a lot of people, like my girls, Divine, who were the pioneers on my show, they actually lost their name and their album went #1. I mean, their single lately went #1. And because they were trying to make a sophomore album, they got sued because a young little girl group had trademarked their name, Divine, and they weren't even a #1 group.
Wasn't they signed to Mariah? They were signed to Mariah Carey's label, right?
No, you're talking about Allure. Divine was
Allure, that's what it was.
You're talking about Allure. No. Divine was the girls who sung lately. They sung lately. It was a big, big record. And what happened was we found out why they fell out. Well, they didn't fall out, but why the group had disbanded and all the other stuff. And what happened was because they lost their name. So you taking the name like did it, and because of that, they lost the distribution deal. Everything got wiped. So what you were just saying about your stuff with the albums and stuff like that was great that you took precautionary measures to make sure that if anything was to pop out or Anybody trying to sue, you make sure you get your names and everything else first before I even put anything printed out. And I think it's great because, you know what I'm saying, you're doing your
that
business
right
first.
there, that's the perfect example of that's what I always thought in my mind coming out with a stage name. Like, I need to get this trademark because I would be sick to my stomach if I've been saying.
I can't hear you.
Name. I got people, introducing themselves to my name.
Club, repeat that one more time, sweetie. I can hear you a little bit. Yeah. You say you'll be hurt?
Okay. I said I would be hurt, devastated to have people say my name, and then I'm introducing myself as Cle'ph, and then I can't even legally use it. So that right there, that type of story, that's like that was like one of my biggest fears that made me go so hard on trying to get that name trademarked. Like I could not lose that name. Period. As long as there's breath in me, I cannot lose that name.
Come on. That's right.
I cannot lose that name.
Yeah, but Cle'ph, the thing about it, I think you took the initiative, and that's why I said for you, it was great that you, like I said, you sing. But I think the thing about it is when you became a songwriter, I think that took the potential of you of getting into the business side of the aspects of how it is to get in this industry, And, talking to you now, being an independent artist, like, how does it feel being an independent artist? And do you feel that taking this route was the best route for you? And not only that, will you ever get to do a major label, or do you want to stay in this route?
I definitely would take a major deal. Absolutely. And the reason why I would is because, so I always have this conversation with a lot of my closest peers, and being independent is like one of the best things. But what people don't want to tell you is it's very frustrating and very difficult. It's like all these artists that we know who are independent, nine times out of 10, they were all mainstream artists. So because they already were established. They already had the fan base and everything. Now, being an independent artist out the gate, that is the most frustrating, aggravating thing when it comes to making music. Because it's like you're doing everything by yourself. Especially nowadays, a label is not going to give you a shot anymore. Because back in the day, it was different. If you knew how to sing, you can catch an A&R or a record exec coming out of a building of one of these record labels and start singing. They'd be like, oh, what you call it? Like how Darnell Jones got put on.
Yeah.
Singing for, what's his name, that came out the building. He was like, hey, don't sing for nobody else. I'm going to sign y'all in 2 weeks. Stories like that don't happen now, really. You got to really put in the work online.
Right on YouTube.
So, so when people be like, hey, I'm independent, that's cool and all, but I'm going to be honest with you. As creative as I am, especially when it comes to making music videos, I do not mind if it makes sense when if your business is in order, having signed to a major label. And the reason why is it's always that great advantage of having a major label, because I can literally be like, okay, I signed a 2-album deal with them, but I know I will have a fan base that when I don't want to sign with them no more, I already had the team built. I already built the relationships being signed as a major artist. So people will actually know who I am. It'll be easier for me to be independent because now I know what to do. Now the independent from a major to independent is always like, it's easy. You got their fan base, you already got the reputation, people know you. So it's easy just to, do that. But being underground, trying to be independent, that's difficult.
I get it.
So a lot of people always quick to be like, a lot of people always quick to bash major like mainstream wise, but sometimes doing the mainstream thing is kind of like use that to your advantage, because in mainstream is different. Like you can have a hit record, and if the next record don't hit like the first one, you consider you fell off. Like where independent is more like you can have success, it won't make a difference. There's no such thing as falling off when you're independent. What's falling off? There is no such thing as falling off. If I sold 5,000 copies and I'm independent, that's a win. If you look at it. On the mainstream, it's more pressure mainstream wise. Those type of numbers, they're not trying to hear that. You cannot sell 5,000 copies when you're a major artist. Like that is embarrassing. But as an independent artist, selling 5,000 copies the first week, I take that. I take that. That's a win. Especially if I put my own money into it. Who's getting upset? I'm not getting upset. I'll just be grateful that people actually listen to my stuff. That I got 5,000 streams or plays, or I got 5,000 fans that actually like my music. I take that as a huge win. So again, the major, if the business makes sense, yeah, 100%, I would definitely sign.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't jump at the first opportunity though.
Okay,
so,
there you go. That's what I was waiting on, because I was like, okay, so do you want to? But I think for you would know more of this, and you have a huge advantage, and that's why I was, I've been just talking about your business side. You're really business savvy when it comes down to the business, because of how you came in. You already kind of constructive of what to come in to expect when it comes down to just songwriting and singing. What percentage is what? Because think about it, you got the behind the scenes aspect, and by the time you get to the singing part of it, or you just being front and center, you got all aspects of how it is to be, be financial, be successful, but not even that, make a name for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm just understanding on the aspect. Like, I get why you said label major, because for me, I don't mind you going to a major. The thing about it is, it's just we're in some crazy times right now. It depends on how the way you're going to use it, like you said, with your marketing, or how the way you want to navigate and to becoming, a name, for a household name for yourself in this industry, And I feel like you said, we're in the technology world where everything is just tech savvy. So that's how they're looking to see who wants to do what. But my thing is with the major is, I just want to make sure that if you're going to be a businessman, you're going to be fair with me. You're going to make sure that I know everything. I'm knowledgeable. I want to know about the business. But at the same time, I need to know all aspects of how the way everybody's going to, how the way we can win successfully. You know what I'm saying? And not be a downfall in the major, And nothing against independent, because I love independent. That's why I love independent artists to do on my show, because it gives you a chance.
Independent is nothing wrong with independent.
No, it's not at all. But like,
there's nothing wrong with independent at all.
Is the flip side, it might not be a bigger notoriety versus with a major that can push you forward and put the machine behind you to make sure that you are getting your music out there, getting the fan base, and just creating a lane for yourself to do what you got to do, and then the other artists can kind of see. Because like I said, people are always watching what you're doing. Let's be real.
Yeah,
they're always. So definitely thank you for that. I'm happy you broke that down. Like I said, you really have a brain for the industry, but not even that on the aspects of being a singer and a song. Oh, no, just no. You do.
I try.
No, you do. But that's why I liked about your music, too. You had the Quarantine remix. I did like that. That was a good record.
Wait, the Quarantine remix?
Yeah, the one you did. Yes. The remix you did. I did like that song.
You like the song?
Yeah, I did. I liked it. I was like, okay, this is kind of like a little catchy beat. Okay. Yeah. When I'm learning about your body of work, you're kind of like a mixture of, I'm saying R&B, but I learned from you. You do Afro beats. You do kind of like
that was kind of like a test. I was testing myself to see if I can do it. That was the thing. It was like a test one.
It had a catchy beat to it. I was like, okay, he's kind of going in some different directions, but I think you're kind of tying into what's going on now, and that's kind of dope.
I want to make it clear that I only did the Afro beat song just to test to see if I can do it. You will never get an Afro beat album from me. That will never happen. Don't ask. That is it. Like, I just wanted to do that song. Like, I just play around with the song. Like, I'll do maybe have it on the album or two or whatever I'm doing, and just have one song just to play around with it, or do a feature with an Afrobeat artist or whatever, just because it's fun. It's a lot of energy. It's just really it's smooth, the way it just flows.
Yeah.
But I will never make an album that's nothing but Afrobeat. You will never get that from me. So I'm just putting that out there. That's never gonna happen.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he is declaring he is not. I repeat, he is not an Afrobeat singer and songwriter. Okay?
No, I am not. But I just wanted to just test my pen to see if I can do it, and I did it.
And you did, and it was great. Like I said, nothing wrong. It was very catchy, and that's why I say I think what I learned from your music. I think your music palette, like you said, you are R&B, but your palette, you have the mindset of going a different lane. That's why I said with you. When I listen to some of the songs, like when I first hear your speaking voice, I said he reminds me of Raheem DeVaughn. You really have a clear voice like him. I don't know why. I just when the first time I heard,
I never heard that before, but thank you. I appreciate that.
I can hear Raheem DeVaughn. You kind of look like him a little bit, just a little bit, not too much.
Wow.
But for me, when I hear tones and voices, I can kind of tell a little comparison of influence, in my opinion, what I think you might have been. I'm not saying you've been inspired, but I can just hear some little Raheem DeVaughn isms. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I heard from music.
I'll take that.
But in music,
I'll take that.
And then look, he's a dope songwriter. He wrote for Usher. He wrote "Love You Gently" on his "Here I Stand" album. So I mean, come on, like
yeah. So yeah, like I said, that's a great compliment. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell.
Keep them coming.
Look,
keep them coming.
Certain well, certain isms, but you can kind of tell people's like voice or where it kind of can connect to, and that's why I said with you, you got the 𝐕𝐸𝐷𝐦, and I think too you got 𝑑𝐷𝐦. I think he's another guy I remember too back in the day. He was a dope up and coming R&B artist. Like those are kind of people that you kind of tie me into that neo soul vibe. You know what I'm saying? So
neo soul, okay.
Oh yeah, look, sir,
okay.
Like that's what we need now. I think in some ways in this R&B realm, but I feel like I said too, it's kind of coming back a little bit. I think the music that you have put out now,
it's coming back a little bit. Yeah. I mean, you mean like R&B wise, period, coming back, or?
Well, that's the question I was going to ask you, sir. What do you feel the state of R&B is? And I wanted to ask you, since Mr. Diddy has made his proclamation, he feels that R&B is dead. And do you feel that he was right that R&B is dead? And what is your intake about what R&B is now?
It's funny how people always claim to say, "What?"
No, because I know you have to go in. That's why I'm like, go on.
I mean, it's kind of like for him to make that statement. I mean, it's easy for him to say that when he's the CEO of his own label and he's not looking for an R&B artist.
That part.
So of course you would say that R&B is dead. Like people in those type of positions, it's always easy for them to say, "Oh yeah, R&B is dead." You're right, because y'all not looking for those type of artists no more.
Boom.
You're not.
Boom.
So if you're not looking for that artist, what do we do? It's to me, it's kind of funny how people always quick to say, "Oh, R&B is dead." But to me, it's like R&B is not dead. It's just that mainstream doesn't pay attention to it no more. So just like we don't pay attention to country music, you don't hear them saying country music is dead. I never hear that. Ever. I never hear that. No one ever says, "Yo, country music is dead." Yeah, yo, country music is straight dead. I never hear nobody ever say that. It's only when it comes to like either hip hop or R&B, when we don't pay attention to certain aspects of hip hop or R&B. Oh yeah, R&B is dead. R&B is not dead. It's a lot of dope, underground, independent, even some mainstream talent that exists. Yeah. It's just that mainstream don't want to put nothing behind it. Yeah. Now they have the new thing, what is like drill R&B. Yeah, whatever. But you know, it's kind of like, I mean, it's not really, because that's not really the songwriting aspect of it. That's the part where I get kind of a little confused with. Right. Especially when it's the same cadence, the same flow. So it's kind of like, because remember, I'm old school. I'm used to having where you could tell the hook sounds different than the verse.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's where I come from. But, you know, like I said, they're not looking for R&B artists, somebody who just does R&B. And then when somebody who comes in R&B, what they always try to do, they try to put him in, he's like neo soul. Like, no, he does R&B.
Yeah.
And then somebody said something that makes sense. They said that there's a lot of people who do R&B. It's just that they're not black. Like Sam Smith, Adele.
Boom.
I forgot the other person. They do R&B music, but, you know, because they're on a different level, it's like, okay, and, you know, we're going to be honest. It's you know, it's like a culture thing. So it's like, okay, R&B is dead. To the urban black artists, R&B is not dead.
That part.
It's just that those people don't want to look. There's thousands of great R&B artists out there that haven't even got discovered. Yeah. I hear them, I come across them all the time. So it's like, how is R&B dead? So it takes somebody to say R&B is dead, but I'm like, come on, you got Usher, like,
come on.
Like, how's R&B dead? You got Jasmine Sullivan. How? Really? Like, come
Victoria
on.
Monet Cle'ph. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what I'm saying. You hit it right on the nail. They don't want to look for us. Let's be real. They don't want to look for us.
They're not checking for us. So it's like, it takes somebody to make a statement like R&B is dead. So I guess if I say, hey, country music is dead, we probably gonna get a whole bunch of new country music artists. Like, that's what I'm talking about. See? Yeah. And it's kind of like, it's kind of sad that it even got to the point where, like, maybe even like 20 years ago, you would have never heard something like saying like R&B is dead. Like, wait, what? R&B is dead? Because sadly to say, hip hop, rap music has consumed everything. Yeah. So now it's like, you got hip hop just absorbing R&B. So now people are just thinking like, okay, it's hip hop now. So now R&B that comes out has to have hip hop in it, when really R&B was here first. Everything spawns from R&B. Why? Sometimes I feel like why should R&B have to adapt, or why should we have to like do what hip hop is doing? For what? Rap music came from R&B.
Boom.
It came from R&B.
Go on.
But I love hip hop and rap music. Don't get me wrong, but it's just that sometimes the lines get blurry. You can't tell the difference, even with the artists. Nowadays, you can't even tell who's an R&B singer nowadays, because now the R&B singers look like rappers, and now you got the rappers that sound like R&B singers.
Yep.
So it's like the lines are blurred, because when I was growing up, I knew exactly who an R&B singer was by the way he dressed, in the video, what he does in the video, all that, the way he talks, mannerism, all that. Now it's a free for all. You got the R&B people who do R&B, they acting like rappers.
That part.
That's crazy.
It's very crazy.
That's crazy.
And it's so crazy.
I shouldn't have to look at an artist and be like, is he a singer or a rapper? Those lines should never be blurred. I should already tell.
Yeah. And
I get that sometimes too. When I walk into a building, I'll sometimes play around and like, oh yeah, my name is Cle'ph, introduce myself. And like, oh yeah, I say I'm a rapper. You're not a rapper. You're not a rapper. I don't look like a rapper. I do not look like a rapper at all. I don't even know what a rapper looks like, but I don't look like one. But that's where the problem comes in. Yeah. That's always been the problem as of lately. But that's just my take on it.
Amen, baby. You have dropped so many gems and you are 100% correct, because that's what we did recently on Sunday on my show. We talked about the state of R&B, of the topic that Mr. 𝐷&𝐁 wrote. And I just felt like with that was just really kind of a slap in the face for us, because how can you say that when we created all the genres? Like you just said, you and Usher just said the exact same words. Like, we are the creators of music. We created these genres. We created for what it is. Country came from R&B, so don't get it twisted, people. Yes, it did. So when you have the mindset of people like a CEO that's trying to tell somebody where the music is, it should be people like you that really have made a way or made contributions or beneficiary to what we have in R&B. But you're not, because you want to hold up conversations where you think R&B was, when you, to be honest with you, you ain't really done nothing in the culture now. So I have a problem with people that used to be head of stuff or are the head of stuff, but then want to make a statement making it seem like that because of this, they want to open up the floodgates when you didn't do anything. Just being honest.
And my thing is, you say R&B is dead, but are you trying to sign any R&B if that's the case? Like, don't make the statement that R&B is dead, but you ain't trying to sign an R&B artist, because I guarantee you he'll sign a rapper who kind of sings or whatever before he signs an actual real R&B singer.
He will.
Guaranteed. Or he'll sign somebody who does like considered pop music before he does R&B. Because it's like, even if he gets an R&B singer, what does almost every label try to do? When they get an R&B singer, they always try to turn them into pop.
Yep.
Okay, we want you to go pop in the next album. Why? Or when you come out, we want you to get pop. Like, why? That's the first thing they do. They don't even try to say, I've never heard of a label saying, we want you to do an R&B album. They go, first thing they go, we want you to do pop. I don't do pop, I do R&B. Nah. We need you to have this pop record. But then the second album come around, the artist has more control. And when the song doesn't, or the album don't perform as well, and then next thing you know, you hear years later, I did what the label wanted me to do. They wanted to do a pop record, but I do R&B. So the second album was really who I really am. The reason why I didn't take to it was because y'all got used to hearing me do pop. I don't do pop music. I just did what the label wanted me to do.
That part
happens all the time.
Yep. And that's why now, I think that's why now being an independent artist, for a lot of people, they're trying to take creative control of their sound. That's what I'm assuming where people are going with this, especially with R&B. But I feel like you said too, Cle'ph, when you have the mindset of you want to take control of your own career and your advice, you have to be smart about the business, and where you want to be for yourself as years to come for your legacy, And, looking back at a lot of stuff now from a lot of artists, because like I said, I was looking at a lot of their stories about why we didn't get sophomore albums or why we didn't get the next single or certain things like that for them to get off what it got us is because of the record labels was trying to control their creative process. And I feel like when they're involved in creative process, they fuck up everything, And we're just going to be thrilled with what it is,
We all know why, because it's
Yeah,
money.
it's money.
That's it.
Boom.
All comes down. If the first single's not gonna do good, they like, yo, we're not gonna put. We need to recoup everything that we just did for you for the first single, and we need to make some money. That's why usually a second album won't never come out, or that's why they'll just have that one song and then you'll never hear nothing from them again.
Yep.
They'll get shelved because they wouldn't do what the label wanted them to do. So, all right, well, you don't want to do what we want to do, put you on the shelf. You can sit there for a few years until your contract expires, but you still owe us 3 albums. Like, happens all the time.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
All the time.
It is so crazy. But thank you so much for your intake on that, sir. So now, congratulations. Currently, you just released your EP, yours truly. Congratulations on that. Really, really dope.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I hear the R&B melody.
I actually dropped it on I actually dropped it on Valentine's Day.
Right, you did on Valentine's Day. That's why I was like,
yep, I dropped it on Valentine's Day.
You know, I seen.
I always wanted to do a record. I always wanted to drop something on Valentine's Day, so I was happy to do that.
Well,
for the first time.
So. Any was the perfect song for that, sir. Because I think that, you know what? Now I realize that any you and I was could have meshed. That could have meshed. Damn, I just thought about that. Like, you got shout out to 𝐩𝐬 your girl who did the spoken word, and then Money Long, them talking the records. It can make sense. Damn, I just really came up with that. I didn't know, but you saying that, I remember them playing hours and hours like freaking crazy. But not even that, it was dope because when I heard you, I feel like I told you earlier, to me, it's a very dope record. It reminds me of Usher's Confessions. That's what it's made for. About, you talking to the girl about, everybody.
Yeah.
It's very sexual. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's no baby maker music that we used to hear back in the 90s. Yeah, feel good stuff. Like, what made you inspired to do this EP on Valentine's Day? But not even that. Like, how did you come up with everything on the concept of yours truly? And what was the inspiration behind this whole EP that you did?
Well, what was behind it, though? Basically, I always wanted to come out with a project on Valentine's Day, because originally the original plan was I wanted to drop a song on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I had all these records I had from the previous year, and I was like, you know what? I've been kind of quiet since my previous project, which was yours truly. I promoted that for like 2 years straight.
Oh wow!
So the last song they got from me was Hit and Run, and then I came out with Quarantine just to keep myself, and I released Quarantine Remix after I won the second award that I got. So that was kind of like a strategy. I did that on purpose.
That was smart.
So then I was like, yes. So I did that, and then I decided, I said, I want to come out with something for Valentine's Day. And I had all these records, and I was like, you know what? Why don't I just make an EP? I was like, why not? It's been a whole year since I came out with an actual project after Confidence of a Shy Guy. So I was like, I'm gonna make this EP. I said, I'm not gonna make it like too long. It's gonna be just like 4 songs, 4 original songs. And then that's how, when I heard the production for '𝐴𝐻, what was funny about that is I heard that song months ago before I even wrote it. I didn't like it at first. It didn't click.
Now?
Yeah, the one that y'all hear, I heard that, the beat and everything, months before I even decided to use that, because I wasn't. I heard it and I was kind of like, and I said next, and I just swiped it.
Oh hell no!
No, I'm being serious, because it didn't click.
To be honest, to me,
I know, but it didn't click the first time I heard it. So I just I sat on it for like 3-4 months. So then how it happened was I was bored in the house. I decided, I was like, let me sometimes I double back, because I'll hear a producer and he'll have his catalog. Nothing will click at that moment. I'll probably come back maybe a month later and just listen to the same beat and see if I catch something. So when I heard 𝐴𝐻 again, I was like, something started clicking in my head. I was like, yo, this could actually work. So now as I'm writing, I'm just saying stuff, but I'm saying to myself, like, the verse is too long for me to sing. By the time I get to the hook, it's gonna be boring. You're gonna be like, all right, when the hook part coming up? So, and then on top of that, I was being lazy. So I was like, you know what? I said, what if I did, in the way the beats sound, why not just have somebody talk on it? Like a huge, big old intro. So I'm thinking like, okay, so as I'm writing, I'm doing everybody's part. I'm doing the hook part. Once I already have the hook, the rest of the song comes together. So all right, I'm gonna do that part. And I say, now when the verse comes up, what should I do? So at first I was gonna actually sing my part as a verse, but I was like, nah, that's corny. Then I was like, I said, I think somebody should be talking on this. The way the beat kind of just goes, and you could just tell somebody just should be talking. So then I said, I don't think I should do it. I said, I think this sounds better if a female does this, especially since I already had put the title in you. Kind of made sense. So I was like, I said, basically, we should get a poet. Yeah, I said, we should get a poet. And I had already known J. Rose prior to all this. So I immediately hit her up because she does that erotic poetry. So I had already hit her up and say, before I even really like could basically record the song, I had already hit her up and said, hey, I got this song idea. We should work on this. I already had the hook. I just need you to write something to it. She's like, okay. So we had a Zoom call just like this. And I'm on the Zoom call with her as she's writing her verse and she's going over it. So I needed her to go over it so I could have it in my head. Because I already had it. I already knew how I wanted it to sound in my head. So I needed her to mimic what I was hearing.
Okay.
So she's on the Zoom call writing it. And then she starts laughing. And I was like, I said, what's so funny? She's like, I just said something funny. So the part where she talks Spanish, that's the part where she started laughing. She's like, I said to put something, I said, say something in Spanish in the record. I don't know what she was going to say. She just put that in there. So as the song is playing, she starts, going over her lines in the song. Yeah. And then I come in with the hook. So we put it all together. And then like a week later, she came to the studio, did a thing. I told her, hey, add this part to it, make the noises in the background as the hook is going on towards the end. And that's it. So then when the video came up, that was her first time ever doing a music video. She's done records like that before with other artists where she's been on records before with other artists, I guess with like rappers or whatever, but she's never done a music video. So this was like brand new.
Oh, wow.
And she nailed it.
Yeah. Especially
you couldn't even tell it the first time.
When she did the spoken word, and I was gonna say that she did like a double entendre, especially with the peace sign, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I was like, she right. I was like, baby girl did that because nobody, I caught it. So I was like, damn, this ever did a double entendre with this shit. She bodied that part. I mean, but I love the way you and her were talking. It was like some Love Jones-esque type of, modern 2022 twist. But I think with you guys, the way it works so well, I'm talking in the way you just talking about the story, how y'all came up with it. Y'all had a good chemistry of how the way you wanted it. But I think for you, you wanted her to make her feel the record, but y'all feel the record together to make sense so it can flow. But not even that, it kind of gives her feel good of couples talking, how it is they want to make love. You know what I'm saying? It makes perfect sense. That's why I'm like, damn, he is right. Like, that was right. You did smart by that.
I try. I see it in my, because I see it. I saw it in my head. As graphic as it was, I seen it in my head. So of course I couldn't do that in the videos, but I seen that all in my head. So I had to. That's how I usually write. If I can see it as I'm writing, it's a music video in my head. Now, of course, music videos are expensive, so we gotta change a few things, take some elements out, kind of change it up a little bit. But for the most part, any song can be a music video. It all depends on how you move it. So I had to. That NU video had to be clean enough for people to see it, but it's definitely for grown-ups.
Oh hell yeah!
That's for adults only.
That's why I think you and Money Long, y'all songs work perfectly. It makes a lot of sense to the imagination because she had to do that too with her video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That was great. I love that you talked about you, and then the other records like Energy and all these other records those the same things were inspired as well?
Energy was actually, it's funny about that. Shout out to the producer. His name is Prolific the Professional. Dope. So what happened with that was I had the records and I wasn't sure what song would be like the lead because I was going to be kind of lazy. I was going to just drop the project and just call it a day. Right. So how that song came to be like the lead single, just ironically, was the fact that he had hit me up on Instagram. No, I'm lying. He sent the email. He sent the email. He was describing himself to me. He was like, "Hey, listen, I'm a producer. I do songs for soundtracks to commercials and all that stuff. I get placements and stuff like that." I thought he was lying. I thought it was a scam. I'm not gonna lie. So when he had said his name, I Googled his name to see what comes up. So stuff started coming up. So I look on his Instagram. I was like, oh, he looks legit. So I responded to it. So I was like, yo, just give me, I gave him my phone number. I said, just give me a call. So we started talking on the phone. He explained everything to me, this and that. Now the song Energy, he said, was written. He said he had him. It was another writer that was on the song. I think his name was Mike. I haven't spoken to him at all. I'm not even gonna lie. I have never spoke to the writer. So it was a writer on there. So I guess they had some type of partnership. Mm-hmm. He said to me that the song Energy, because the guy who wrote the song kind of like he's just a writer. He's not an artist, not interested in being an artist, just a writer. So he sent me a reference of it because he had two versions. He had a girl singing, and then he had the other one where a guy was singing. Right. So he tells me that he's like he's been trying to shop that song to get an artist to sing it for almost 3 years. 3 years he's been trying to get this song. Yeah, nobody would take the song, and then he came across my page, and he said, "Yo, I think like your style fits good with this record." So when I heard it, I was like, yeah, I can see myself. So ironically, the song was half completed. The song only had the hook. The song had the two verses, but the song didn't have a bridge. That's where the reference stopped. The reference stopped after the hook, before the bridge. It had no bridge. So I was like, all right. Remember I talked about earlier, as long as I can be a part of the process. So I was like, all right, if I'm gonna take the record, I'm gonna change or add some stuff to make it comfortable. So I ended up writing the hook part to it. So now I'm a co-writer of the song. Right. So when the splits came up, I got co-writing credit. But I always give credit to the guy because he presented the I wouldn't have been able to do that if he didn't have it already laid out. So all I had to do was just write the bridge and put everything together. And then I was just like, you know what? I like the song so much. I thought I'm gonna shoot a video for it. I shot the music video at least, I would say 4 months before it was supposed to have came out on Valentine's Day. So the video you saw on Valentine's Day, I shot that. When was it? It came out this year. I shot that video last year in late September, before I had went to Atlanta. And I was sitting on that video for at least a good 3 months prior to that.
Oh, wow.
And I was just waiting. Everything was strategy. I was like, let me shoot the video now. So when Valentine's Day, all I gotta do is upload it and I'm good. So when the 14th came, all I had to do, project was out, the video dropped the same day. So it was like a sequence. I had it all mapped out in my hand, the sequence. It was a sequence that I had. So basically the single came out, the video dropped, and then right after the video, the album came out as well. So you had, you could check out everything. So you like the video, you could go check out the rest of the songs from the album on the same day. And that was basically, so I had to wait. And then once the project of Yours Truly came out, I started seeing what songs were popular. First, it was Feeling You. A lot of people was loving that song, Feeling You. I said, oh, that might be the second single. Then all of a sudden, In You took off. In You was like killing it. Like that. It was blowing all the other songs out. Yeah, it was blowing all the other songs out the water.
That's like the type of stuff. You already know it's a vibe. And then you got a girl with spoken word. Like, to be honest with you, Clef, we don't hear spoken word no more. Like, I hate to say it, but it's true. Like, it was dope even hearing that in R&B music, because it reminded me like a Floetry-esque type of thing. Like, it really reminded me of the Jill Scott, neo-soul, like, era at that time. You know, remember,
and all those old records, all those old songs back in the day, they used to talk on the record.
Yeah!
They used to talk on the record. So that's kind of the same element. It's just that I'm not doing it because I don't remember what I be saying when I be talking on the record. I just know if I'm singing or ad-lib. Like, I can't remember the words that I say. So it's just like, I'm not gonna get somebody, I'll probably get somebody else to do it. I'll be having a lot on my mind. So it's like, I gotta remember the ad-libs and, you know, how to perform. I ain't got time to be sitting here remembering lines and stuff like that. Like, oh, nah. Let somebody else do that.
But that was dope. You brought it in there, though. I love that. That was dope. You brought that in there because we do not have poetry in R&B. It's just real facts. I actually
got another record like that I wrote that I had tucked away. So, you know, I might, you never know. I might get J Rose to do another record, but it's gonna be a different concept.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I like
So we'll
that was
see in the
dope.
future.
So you said and you took
Yeah, we'll
off
see in the
yet?
future.
You said
Huh?
and you took off?
Yeah, the numbers started really like because I didn't have a second single at first. It was just going
Okay.
out. I was kind of thinking like, all right, I'm just going to drop energy, do the video, and just call it a day. But
Right.
then, as I'm watching the numbers and the months go by, a lot of people gravitating to Indie, a lot of people. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a video to Indie, and the music video was fun.
Using a white pants.
Yeah, it was fun. It
That's
was
dope.
just fun. Yeah, I had a good time. Good times. Good times.
That was dope though. I love that. But regardless of that, I think I agree with you. It did definitely need a video. And like I said, when I heard In You, I said, yep, that's the record. I knew when I was hearing the EP, I said, that's the one. I knew that was the one. Because for me, that definitely brings an R&B sound. But like I said, that spoken word, that poetry, that's something that I love. Because
a lot of people like that.
Oh, what? But 100% like the R&B representative. Shout out to my girl, she's a poet. And something like that, I can see her hearing that because she's a big, huge Jill Scott and R&B, Erykah Badu head. So it's like for her, she hears that girl and that she's gonna be like, "Yep, I know exactly what she's doing," and she's a poet. So it's like for her, she's hearing the lyrics of what's talking, and not even that she's feeling. I guess I like to say with poetry, it feels some type of way. But I think when you harmonize your singing vocals and with her spoken word and for what she did, like I said, that dope double entendre with the peace thing, I'm like, damn, she right. Like my legs go like a peace sign. I'm the peace sign. I'm like, damn, like I wouldn't even thought no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like for you,
she got a whole bunch of poetry like that. Like that's easy for her. That's easy for her.
An EP or something like that, because that was dope too. But I feel like for you guys, for what you did for that record, for that to be the one for me. And like I said, I'm an R&B head. I love, like I said, don't get me wrong, I love all types of R&B. But I think for something like that to touch the soul or just touch something of the body or just make you react a certain way, you was like, yeah, this is the one that definitely needs to be recognized, because for that's something that we're missing in R&B right now, something that can touch the soul, And for you to do that within you, I feel like that was the record for me, because I said that was the one I kept kind of listening in rotation. I said, yeah, this is the one. And then y'all talking. I'm like, yeah, I said, that's the one. That is the one. But definitely congratulations on that stuff. But I want to ask you another question.
Thank you.
Is there anybody that you have hopes and dreams of collabing with, since you are indie or whatever you want, who are like some people that you want to collaborate with? And it doesn't even have to be big. It can be anybody that you want me to know, or just anybody that you do like that's in the R&B game.
Okay, so I actually have, I think I have 3.
Okay.
Is it 3? It might be 3. Okay, so I actually want to work with. This is also a producer as well. So
okay.
I would like to work with Ryan Leslie.
You are the second person on my show to say everybody says that. Damn.
He's very underrated. That's the problem. He's underrated, as he's talented, so he don't get enough credit as he deserves.
Yes.
I would like to work with Ryan Leslie. I would love to do a song with Carlos Santana.
What? You know what? I can see that. After hearing this, I can see that.
And I would actually love to one day co-write a song with Babyface.
You broke that mug down perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is dope. Why did you pick those 3 for your inspirations or collaborations as a Babyface or a songwriter?
So as the first one with Babyface.
Mm-hmm.
I like Babyface. I always liked his music. I mean, he's contributed so much to R&B and the greats and everything, and even success for himself. So he's kind of like what the goal would be if you was a songwriter turned artist. If you really look at it, because he's done it. He's done it all. He won the award as an artist, as a songwriter. So it's like, and he never like. You think about it, it's never such thing as, oh, Babyface fell off. Because how, he's very instrumental in everything, even to this day. He even had the new generation doing songs with them. So it's never like, oh, nah, get Babyface out of here. We don't want him on no record. No, you want Babyface on your record.
That part.
So I definitely would want to work with him, like, go half on the song. Because I was like, yo, I wrote that. Because it would be like, I wrote that with Babyface. That would be my I want to say stuff like that. Like, yo, I wrote that with Babyface. Like,
so you want like a John B type of thing. When I interviewed him, he did Someone to Love. Yeah, That's dope.
Yeah, just I take 25%. It don't matter. Just let me write a bridge or something. I'll take that. I'm okay with that.
That's
I'm
dope.
okay with that.
And why did you pick Carlos Santana? Because that's a very interesting thing. You coming in that role with him, but why did you pick him for that?
We all know the song Maria Maria.
Come on. Yep.
Yes. So it's kind of like I always like the live instrument type thing.
Yeah.
So that was like a no-brainer. I was like, yo, Maria Maria. I could see myself going to the studio with him, just vibing out and just seeing what we come up with.
Yeah.
That would be so dope to even like to do a song, not just with Carlos Santana on that aspect of, an artist who plays an instrument, but almost any artist that plays an instrument, like somebody like a Kenny G, do a song with him where he's playing the sax and then I'm doing my song or something like that. Stuff like that. I'm with that. But Carlos Santana, he is like the goal of mine. I would love to do a song with him. Hopefully he doesn't retire from music anytime soon. Like I just need that one shot. Like, let me just meet him, bob out in the studio. I'll be asking people, and I always get, I don't know his people. It's like, come on. I'm hoping that day comes one day. Like, Carlos Santana. So
that is dope. And then you said Ryan Leslie, he's definitely a go because it's so crazy. I had this R&B group, I'm sorry, Doobie, Neezy, and EXO. They're gonna kill me. I'm sorry. I love you guys. They came on my show. They said Ryan Leslie was their go-to person too, because a lot of people don't give Ryan Leslie a lot of credit. He really, in all honesty, to me, changed the sound when 2006 came. When he did that record for that girl Cassie, and just in general for what he did for the sound of music, it changed everything. And
you ever seen him make a beat?
No, I've never seen him make a beat, but I know he's a smart businessman. I know that much. That's why you kind of remind me of him of what you just said with a lot of stuff. I say, yeah, I can see you working with Ryan. Yeah.
I've seen him make beats. Like I used to watch his videos where he would go in the studio and just be playing with the drums, this and that. He'll go in the next booth and start playing with the keyboard, just making He'll go in the next booth and he'll do something else with an instrument or something. And then all of a sudden he goes in the room with the mixing board. And then you hear everything that he did, you hear it all. And then he does the record and he gives it to the artist, usually it's a rapper on it, and then he'll write the hook. And I was like, yo, that's pretty dope. I like stuff like that. Where if I'm singing, I like that whole creative thing where if I'm singing, you're making the beat right there on the spot. Kind of like what Justin Timberlake and Timbaland did when he did Cry Me a River. When he went in the studio and he made the beat as he was singing the record.
Well, part of that, but I found out too, Ty Tribbett contributed on the piano part. So Ty Tribbett played a huge role in that record too. Ty Tribbett, the gospel singer, he played the piano part. So like you said, it's
that makes sense. Yeah, stuff like that. I like stuff like that. So
it's just crazy,
Ryan Leslie is like the perfect example of somebody I could see making that type of beat for me. On top of that, I'm working on my album actually. So it's actually gonna be another version of it, of Yours Truly 2.0. I added more songs to it.
Come on.
So this one's not an EP, So this one's not an EP. This one's an actual album. I added way more songs this time. And I have a record on there called Looking for Love. Shout out to Mike Verse. It actually is the production is actually inspired by Ryan Leslie because the producer, Mike Verse, he also is a fan of Ryan Leslie. So he made a beat kind of like inspired by Ryan Leslie. So when I heard the beat, I was like, I had the right to it. So in a way, it's kind of like that's kind of like my paying homage to him. So that was basically it. So it's definitely on that song. Looking for Love is on the record. It's on the album. Yours Truly, and I actually have the remix to 𝐸 on the album. I added another poet. I'm not gonna say too much about it, but I added another poet to the record. Just something different. But Yours Truly 2.0. It's a remix. It's gonna be a little different. Yes, but definitely Yours Truly 2.0 is definitely in the works, planning to come out.
That's dope.
And I got some songs probably popping out probably next month. You're gonna get as the months go on. I have a release date in mind, but I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna try to
Right.
build it up as far as dropping some singles. So you're gonna
Yeah.
probably get like a treat, a brand new song from me, probably like next month. Don't quote me on that, but right now, next month, you'll probably get another video from me before this year is out. Hopefully.
So approximately before 2023, we get a video.
Yes, and
Okay,
then it's gonna lead into next year. So I'll be basically keeping active. So it won't be like, yo, I haven't heard nothing in 6 months from Cle'ph. Like, where's he been going? You'll get something. So
yeah, I get it. I get it. That is super dope. Well, Cle'ph, I want to ask you one last question. Do you have any advice that you want to give to people that want to be in the industry, regardless if they're going independent or major? Because I love how I learned from so much from you. I actually was knowledgeable today just learning from you. Like, one thing I love about, my show, Who's Next, y'all teach me things that, even though I may be like a music head and stuff like that, but learning from an independent side, I learned so much. But for you today, I wanted to ask you, what advice do you want to give to anybody that's trying to be in the industry, or what advice do you want to give into anybody that's in the business that's trying to get in?
I would say to anybody trying to get in, the most important thing before you learn the business, that's always important. Learn the business on what you're trying to do. Even, I'm not saying like you got to be a guru, but learn the basics, stuff that in the business that you're going to be using. If you're a songwriter, look into stuff as far as songwriting is concerned, on how the splits work, on who gets what, how, so you don't get caught up in. I would say one of the most important things is you have to actually love to do what you're doing. Like, a lot of people want to be artists, but they don't really love what they do. Like, I don't want to treat music like a 9 to 5, because at the end of the day, that's a job. Nobody really likes their job. You want to as a career. A career is different from having a job. A job, I just punch in and I go home. A career, even if I'm tired, I'm still going to do it and I still love it. Who really loves their job? So I would say it's always important to really like love what you do.
Yeah.
Like that's, to me, that's very important, because you can tell, and it shows in the music. Because a lot of people be artists for the wrong reasons. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people will become artists just because of the clout, or they like the attention, and they have no talent. Period. They just like the attention. And sometimes you can hear that on records when people are doing certain things, or whether they sing or rap, and you be like, boy, you don't really. And it also, love what you do, because you'll take your craft seriously. There's a lot of artists, again, who don't take their craft seriously. Like, if you're a rapper, right, it's always good. You still have to practice, because rap is very braggadocious. So you can't go on stage and embarrass yourself. So make sure you have a quick 16 tucked away somewhere that we never heard before. Memorize your lines, because that's very important. So it's like, make sure you love what you do, because that always will show when you're doing music. Because you can tell those who just love it, and some who just like, oh, he just doing it just to try to get some girls or something like that. Like, that's corny. It's the truth, though.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get a headache from doing this music thing. It's very stressful. It's aggravating. It's frustrating. But if you get frustrated, I'm just gonna tell you, like, off the bat, like, there's been times I wanted to quit. Like, I wanted to stop doing music completely.
Oh, wow.
And then I had people in my corner. Yeah, I had people in my corner who was like, yo, do you really want to, like, you ain't going to stop. Like, nah. And then I started thinking about the people who love my music, actually, who tell me, like, yo, I love hearing your music. Think about how you would let them down if you just stopped doing music. Like, you don't do music no more. So all that plays into it. At the end of the day, I would tell anybody, just make sure you love to do what you're doing. That's it.
Oh, Cle'ph, you dropped so many gems today. You were one of the amazing people that I had today on my show. You really just dropped some gems, but I got to learn so much knowledge about you, and I want to give you so much respect for you as an up-and-coming legend on your success in this industry. And not even that, you keep on doing what you're doing, and like I said, I can't wait to hear that album that we're going to get in this interview.
Yes, the album. Yes.
This is going to be an album, so I'm excited. Is this your first album that's going to come out?
This is my first album. Absolutely.
Wow.
First
So
album.
make it count. Make it count, sir. Well, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. And before I do, I want to ask you, can you give me like a little snippet of In You, if you can?
In You. I actually wanted to do what you call it?
Oh, okay. Whatever you want to do. Did you want to do another? Did you want to do another song? You can.
I'm trying to see what song I want to give y'all, because I don't want to give y'all 𝐴𝑁 because 𝐴𝑁 you can always stream that easily. So I want to give y'all something brand new.
Oh wow, okay. Give us
Let's
that new
see
exclusive.
something I can give y'all real quick off the project. Give me a second. Hold on.
No, you're good. Take your time.
I got it. You won't see her coming. She's up on you. Yeah. Her touch is so damn lethal, sink her claws into you. Yeah. It's like the moon be shining bright as to light up a room. Yeah. 'Cause little that you know, she puts a spell on you. Yeah. Once she gets on top of you, she won't stop. Her hands on the headboard so that it won't knock. She's so different by the way she moves. I swear her sex is supernatural. It's demon time. That's the new song. It's called Demon Time.
Oh, whoa, okay, hold on.
Yes, that's a new song.
That was good.
That's a new song.
You know what? I'm excited about this album. I'm excited about this real army that you get.
That's why I said. That's why I didn't want to do ''N'U because like some people heard that already. So I want to do something to make you want to come and actually check out the album when I drop it. Like that's on the album.
Once you drop that, you gotta come back and do us a
Absolutely.
Give us to it. But thank you so much, sir. Before we do leave and end tonight's the lovely show tonight. Let everybody know where to follow you at and make sure that they follow you and stream all the stuff that you have going on.
Yes, sir. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple Music. All you got to do is go to my website, www.clephmusic.com. You can follow me on Twitter, R&B Cle'ph. I'm always on there. I'm on IG, of course, Cle'ph Music. That's CLEPH Music. Nothing fancy, just music. And like you can Google me, CLE''PH, and I'll just come up right there. Simple, easy.
Oh, well, thank you so much, and God bless you, Cle'ph.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, no problem in 2022, and great things for 2023, guys. Make sure I will put his information in the description box, and make sure y'all do follow his music on the streaming platforms and everything else. And like he said, his name is Cle'ph, like he has on the bottom of the screen that you know is his name. So thank you guys so much for a beautiful, beautiful time tonight. We are done with our beautiful episode of Who's Next with the R&B singer and songwriter, Mr. Cle'ph. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
That's it.